Hey there, this is Fabled Sorcerer coming to you on YouTube with his deck profile. Three people actually make this deck profile. Well, the concept of it. I just so happen to be the only one with the current build of it out of those three. Um, how this deck came to fruition was one of my buddies had a Subterra engine and I had a TerrorDoll engine. They're both flip effect archetypes. We figured they have great synergy together. I know a guy at my locals who's actually a judge. He agreed with me, and I made modifications to the build since, which my ideas that I added actually make the deck flow a lot better, at least in my opinion. Anyways, I'm sure most of you know what all the cards do, but I'll try to go over some of the effects when we went through the profile. But this is my first profile, so criticism, while needed, please be nice about it, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, first card in the extra deck, Subterra Behemoth Fiendus. Uh, Obviously, it's the Subterra link. I play it at 1. Both the engines are flip effect engines, so it's easy to get this on board. And link arrows point left and right bottom. Also, I should mention this, the Subterras are all Earth attributes, so you have your Earth targets right there for the Earth fusion for Shadalls. Then one of the other links, technically only played 3 different link monsters, Shadal Construct. She gives you the possibility to fuse off of having her on the field. Like Venus, you need 2 flip monsters for it. I'm happy you have the hollow copies. I usually try to hollow any deck I care about. Since me and my buddies work together on this, I'm likely never to get rid of it, and the deck matters a lot to me. Shout out to the person who gave the idea for the deck. The other effect of her to special summon herself actually comes in very handy. I was in a duel with a buddy of mine, and I ended up having to use her other effect to special summon her back to block damage and reduce all the damage I was taking down as low as I could to survive. In that case, that effect is very amazing. This is a card I added myself. We didn't have it at the time of the original concept of the deck, Boral Solar Dragon. I actually ended up using another card in Extra Deck DLC to deal with someone else's copy of this. I don't see myself going into this often considering it's a Link 4, but it is a very good card. I like it in this deck. It's probably the only deck not the only deck I'd play it in, but the deck that I'd keep it in if I don't end up getting a second copy. I'm pretty sure you all know what he does. So yeah. Then the main monster of the extra deck, I would assume people probably would call El Shadal Construct. Her effect to send a Shadal monster on her summon pretty much makes the deck flow. I really wish she'd go back to 3. I'd have to pick up other copies of her in this rarity for it, because again, this deck matters a lot to me. But yeah, because of her being at 1, this deck is very good. I used to play a different deck with the Shadalls back when they first came out, before she got hit down on the ban list to being banned. But I actually like this build much better, and I'm actually very happy for my buddy who actually helped me build this. So I'd like to give a shout out to him. He knows who he is. He's a part of my team. Next Shadal monster, El Shadal Wendigo. People say this isn't a good card. I like it for the factor that it helps me get a problem wind attribute monsters when played with Super Poly. So I'd probably keep it in here. It's not a good option. Its effect's not as strong as the other ones. But all Shadal monsters have the effect of getting the fusion spell back, or a version of the fusion spell back with Shadal in it. So I like this card in here. Main thing is because of Super Poly. Excuse me. Anyways, yeah, I really like this card in here. Also, she's very adorable. And then you have the one Grista. I play only Grista only at 1, mainly because of constraint with room in here. His effect's really good. But yeah, I only really play it at 1 because of room constraint currently. The fact that he deals with special summon monsters is very nice. The only really downside to the Shadell monsters with effects like that, though, is you have to have a Shadell card in your hand to deal with it. But that's not really a problem if you play the deck right. Then you have this card, which I will not try to pronounce this name. I know I can't pronounce this name. Everyone knows this card, hopefully. I like this card because it deals with certain ways of summoning. I believe it came out to deal with Necrods. I believe that was the main function when it first came out. And then one of the other main cards of the extra deck that I play 2 El Shadow Winda. I do not think I'd ever play it at 3 in this build. It locks out the everyone down to 1 special summon per turn, which I like. It's an instant fusion target. I'm going to skip ahead and say I do not play Insta Fusion in the main deck for this currently. That will change once I get stuff to finish my build. I just wanted to get this build up as fast as I could. Then I play 3 of Shikanagua. I recently picked it up, all the last 2 copies in this rarity for the deck. Yeah, because you're playing Subterrors, you want to play this at 3 because it's the Earth Fusion. You use her and another monster from the main deck to go into a monster that's in the extra deck. I love this card in this build. It's very good, especially for going to the other monster. Plus the fact that she can negate. She can, negate? Either during a player's turn. Yeah. Again, cost, getting rid of a Shadell card. She also has a lot of defense. Then I currently play 1 Don Drakester. I believe I will take this out eventually. I'm actually hoping, in the OCG they announced a thing for making a deck for a fan favorite deck. So the choice was between, like, I think it was 10 different decks, if I remember correctly, or got down to that. Anyways, Shadells were the one that was picked. I'm happy about that. One of the other archetypes that I would have been happy with was Familiar Possessed. Who's the other one? Oh yeah, Blackwings was also there. Blackwings, I would have been very happy. They need a link. Konami, get on that. Yeah, I would, if the Shadell deck structure ends up giving us a Synchro, which I believe that would be very good for the deck because it does have a tuner. Please remember that, Konami, OCG Konami, or whichever company makes the cards in the OCG. Remember that I have a tuner, please. Anyways, yeah, I like this card in here. I would replace it if I found a better card to use. It has a good effect. And then here's that card I was talking about. It was a different card, but I currently run 1 Number XX, Utopic Dark Infinity. The reason I run this instead of the other card, which I don't remember the name off the top of my head, is the factor of dealing with an opponent's monster and sending it to the graveyard. I can detach to special summon that monster to my field. He also gives me a life boost with his other effects, but I really use this to get rid of a problem card from my opponent's field onto my field, so they can't res it somehow. I used it on a buddy of mine to get rid of his Boral Sword. Yeah, that was interesting. Anyways, before I continue this on, I do not think I mentioned what we call this deck. We call it TerrorDolls. Anyways, to continue, we have 1 Shadell Falco, the tuner of the deck. Because the deck has a tuner, I feel it should get the Synchro, like I said just a moment ago. I understand why they made it a tuner, not because they intended a Synchro, which would be a good idea considering this factor. I believe it's because the card it was originally based off of before it became a Shadell monster was a tuner. Anyways, flip effect, you can target a Shadell monster in the graveyard, except for a copy of itself to special summon face down, defense. And then the other effect is to special summon itself in face down defense when it's sent by card effect. Which, because this deck pretty much, you get their Shadell cards into the graveyard to use their effects really fast. Then another one of Shadell Hedgehog. I believe I was running this at 2 before I made some modifications. The factor of being able to add on the flip for a spell or trap or when sent a monster is good. I don't think I'd bump it up to 2, at least not currently, Depends on what happens with that deck. I'm going to look forward to that because I am a spellcaster duelist, especially for Shadolls. If you can't tell by my playmat. Anyways, Squamata, that's the next monster. You play 2 of it. I did have it at 3, but because of modifications, I put it down to 2 currently. The fact of flipping to destroy a monster or sending this by card effect to send a different monster from deck to the grave. Well, it doesn't have to be a monster, obviously. It could be any Shaddoll card. Seemed really good to me because you do want to pitch those Shaddoll cards to the grave. Then you have 3 Shaddoll Beasts. You don't really tribute summon this card. It's more in there for the draw power effects. The flip, you get to draw 2 and discard 1. And then just by sending, you get the 1 draw. I usually get the effect to draw 1, which is fine, honestly. It's just factor its draw power. It's a Shaddoll monster. Then onto the sub-terrors. I currently play 2 Nemesis Warriors. I wish that as a hollow print. I do want to get this deck all hollow if I'm able to. Pretty much because of his effect, when a monster is flipped, you can place it on the field. And then you can use his effect on either player's turn, sending a sub-terror to the grave and then tributing him and another monster, which there is a target that really helps this out. It's not actually either a Shaddoll or a sub-terror. But it's in here for a very important reason. Well, 2, I suppose. But yeah, I like this at 2 in here. And then Sub-Terror Guru. I play it at 2. A buddy of mine said to play it at 3. I could see why, but considering I'm not playing pure Sub-Terrors, I'd rather play it at 2, especially with the next card you'll see. When he's flipped, you can search for another Sub-Terror card except for another copy of him, which is why I don't play him at 3 and I include the other monster. So yeah, he is a good card. I would not bump in this build. I would not bump it up to 3. I don't think I'd even put it to 1. And then the other card here, Nemesis Archer. My one friend was saying not to play this at all in the build back when he started working on it. I kind of disagree because of the factor that Guru can't search himself. I rather have Nemesis Archer there to search with Guru, so I can attempt to use her ability to search out my other Guru if I need to. Because she also has the effect, which isn't really used because of the factor of links, but yeah, I actually like this card for this deck. She's not the strongest, her effect's not useful, but I'd rather run one of her and 2 Guru because Guru can't search itself. Also, technically, I guess you would say she's my waifu of the Sub-Terror engine for this deck. My friends would kill me for saying stuff like that. Anyways, next, one of the big monsters here. I know I cannot pronounce this name. Anyways, this card, when you flip, you send a card from your deck to the grave. It's good to ditch out the Shaddoll monsters for the Shaddoll effects. You can also send other cards, obviously, but I mainly attempt to use this to send out the Shaddolls to the graveyard for their effects when able to. I wish this had a hollow print as well. I think it looked cool as a hollow. I don't know which rarity to look cooler in. It's also a 26 attacker, which is nice if you can get it on the field. Next time out of a monster here, Ultra Mothus. I'm pretty sure I mispronouncing that. Anyways, his effect, flip effect, isn't as useful, so he might be taken out of the build eventually. I'm waiting for that to come out before I make any major modifications. But he's a 3k attacker, 18 defense. He's a big starred monster as well. He's not a bad monster either. It's just with links not as useful at the moment. Oh, by the way, no card is useless. Don't let anyone say that. Every card has a use in some deck. You just have to find out the right combinations. And then you have the one of I can't pronounce these names. Shadolls, not Shadolls. Sub-Terrors. Why your name is hard to pronounce. Anyways, he's the monster that has the when he's flipped banish effect. The fact it targets kind of hurts the card in my opinion. Doesn't make it a bad card. It's 2,700 defense and 2,000 attack. I like the card. I'd keep it at 1 when I'm playing this deck. And then hand trap for Subterrors, Fiendus. I like this card in this build. I'd keep it at 3 probably at all times because of the factor that you can use her effect while on the field or from your hand if you have another Subterror to, you know. Again, Subterrors are earth targets, so you want to have as many as you can. Then I play 2 Ash Blossoms currently. It's a tuner, yes. I do not ever actually use it for the tuning effects. I more use it to go in there into the fusions or for its hand effect, which is fine. I might be bumping it up to 3 eventually, but I feel 2 works in this deck. I could see 3 probably working better. Anyway, she's the fire target for the Fire Shadell fusion. There's a reason you play the hand traps in here, which I'd assume people should probably pick up on if they haven't yet. Then I played 3 Ghost Ogre. I like this card. Actually, I believe when it first came out, I actually pulled it from the sneak peek I went to. If I remember correctly, it was either me or one of my buddies. I believe it was me. Anyways, while this card does not negate, just destroys whatever is using an effect, I still feel like it's good. And the factor that it's a light target for Construct, I very much like that. And then I play this tech right here, Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. He's here for the rake 10 plays with the Shikanagua. That's one of the main reasons. The other main reason is because he lets me refuel the deck with my engine for Shadell monsters when it pretty much dies, considering how many of the monsters I play. His other effect, though, is kind of not used in this deck. The factor he also bans himself after being summoned that way. I don't really think it hurts the deck. Again, he's there to refuel the Shadell pieces when I need to. I hate seeing this at the start of the duel. Usually, has happened. It wasn't really a bad thing, but wasn't a good thing. That's the monster lineup, by the way. Next is the spells, which I played 3 of the Shadell field spell, Hidden City. I say Shadell's again. I meant Subterror. Sorry. This is technically my first YouTube video I've ever recorded with commentary. Anyways, the reason I play this is probably obvious. You search for a Subterror monster, which helps set up certain plays. Usually I play this deck, I actually either see mostly Subterror monsters or Shadells. Occasionally I see a mix of both, but usually it's one or the other, which is funny to me. Anyways, other effect is the flipping of the Subterrors, which gets their effects and then flip them back face down. I'd keep this at 3. Shadell field spell's not as good. I do side it currently at 1. I wouldn't say it's bad though. Oh, sorry. Anyways, Shadell fusion. Because this is the Shadell's main fusion spell. Well, at least what I would say is its main. Because of its utility, you can use it to use monsters in your extra deck to fusion when your opponent controls. When your opponent controls a monster from the extra deck, you can use when you fusion someone from your extra deck. You can use monsters from your main deck as materials. That's why I run the hand traps. Actually, I feel like it mixes well with the Shadell fusion because I can get Ghost Ogre from the deck to get Construct. You want a time playing each fusion correctly because there's opportunities where you could lose Construct with which at 1. Because of the factor of the ability to recycle the fusion spell, the deck really is pretty strong. Then you have 2 of the El Shadell fusion. It's a quick play fusion spell. I play in conjunction with the next fusion spell that you're going to see because of the Wendigo in the extra deck. Also because it's the other fusion spell. I like fusion spells. Then you play 3 super polys. Sadly, I only have the 1 hollow right now. I'm going to try to fix that eventually. Considering your opponent can't react, you can use it to get rid of problematic cards. The factor it's at 3 currently really helps out decks that play extra deck fusion monsters, if you ask me. I do not feel like it's a good card to have at 3, honestly. But It does help this deck. It does provide answers for problems. Uh, I do not know if it would ever go back down to 1 or onto the ban list again at all. I could see it happening possibly, but at 3, I feel like it really helps this stack. The cost of discarding for the cost really doesn't hurt the deck depending on what you send. But yeah, I play that 3. And then the last card in this deck, I play 2 of. This is a 40-card deck currently, which I try to keep all my decks around there. The other card is Final Battle. I'm trying to get the last holo copy I need from this.